Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Sasha here. How are we all doing? Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and help support my Sasha channel algorithm. So, I'm going to be picking up once again on this music industry story because music is such an important part of my life, and I feel so strongly and so passionately that it's all gone very wrong, but that we can make it right. I really do believe this. And having spent so much time in different avenues and different roles in the music industry, so I started back, like I said in the last podcast, my first job in a club was behind the bar at Raquel's, funny enough. I went on from there to be a door picker, working on the guest list. And then my next job was as a club promoter for Sound Essential in Ibiza in 2000. And that whole summer taught me a hell of a lot. Um, it was my it was such a crazy summer. And in the first 3 weeks after having been wined and dined, fortunately not 69, but having been wined and dined, I'd arrived on the island of Ibiza um, as a page three model and one of the four girls promoting Sound Essential. And me and my boyfriend, who the Sun Central promoter at the time, were entertained by the good, the bad, and the ugly of San Antonio and Ibiza. And everybody that was kind enough to be nice to us and everything. But of course, there's a lot of hedonism that goes on and all kinds of things. And 3 weeks into that particular first kind of full-time job in the music industry, my boyfriend at the time was rushed into hospital and he was diagnosed to be HIV positive. Now, God, this was a massive thing that happened in my life. And you think I would have gone running scared out of the industry, but I stuck around. And the long and short of that whole episode was that a year and a half later, we found out that that diagnosis of being HIV positive was, in fact, actually incorrect. And although the test had said that he had HIV, he didn't, which he should have been very glad about. Anyway, over that summer, um, a lot of things went on, and I got to know a lot of people in Ibiza, and I'd been going to Ibiza since 1995. Uh, I'd gone, that was my first time, and then 99. And so 2000, I'm right in the deep end, and I am enjoying a summer, which is being covered by Ibiza Uncovered, covered by Ibiza Uncovered, but also going through some real traumatic stuff behind the scenes. And this is something that is very prevalent in our industry. You know, the whole the show must go on. Well, that is true in show business. The show must go on. Um, it can be taken too far, but whatever is going on, whatever is happening, that is one of the things about my life working in the industry, doing club nights, looking after DJs, all of this kind of thing. It's a non-stop business that is pretty relentless. It's very cutthroat. It always was. And whatever happens, the show must go on. So, just like your Friday night, your club night, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, that, that you've got to put it on, you've got to do it, you've got to keep going. And so that was what my kind of baptism of fire on the White Isle of Ibiza was like on that first year in 2000. And it really was quite mad and Sun Central is actually run by a guy called Madders, no less. So to say it was mad is something an understatement. But it was after that. So it was that summer. Uh ketamine was kind of appearing just about, but really we were kind of still on that kind of ecstasy buzz. And yes, cocaine has always been a real problem. Cocaine mixed with alcohol is just everywhere. It's in all walks of life. You know, where people say, "Oh, it's just DJs and things like that." No, um, it's been so prevalent in our world. And the more money, the more cocaine, in my experience. And there's no stopping. And it's a very, very slippery slope. But GB wasn't really about. But then it kind of, I saw these two drugs, K and ketamine, which is the horse tranquilizer that is mentioned in the Diddy case. Ketamine and GHB come into Clubland and come in to Ibiza. And I saw it take the kids down. And what I mean by that is everybody's suddenly lying around like completely fucked and not knowing where they are, what they were doing really, and kind of like Zombie Nation. I think Zombie Nation was probably the song they've been telling us all along. Zombie Nation, it felt like, because whereas we've been kind of in a summer of love for a while, I I really do kind of see 2000 as being that pinnacle when the superstar DJ thing became so explosive that money and greed, and it's, you know, there's always been this in the underground and in the underworld. And the underworld is in all walks of life, you know. Yes, clubs and things like this can be territories that can be more unsafe. But there are unsafe predators walking about in every bar, or, you know, in every bar, but, you know, in every street. It doesn't matter what kind of bar you go to, what kind of places you go to. And actually, I had found much more safety in the rave scene than I ever found in any disco or those kind of meat markets, because the meat markets was where I was in trouble. Because it was just all about sex in those places. And that kind of scene and that blingy crowd and the showy crowd really wasn't for me. And I really found a true love and family on the dance floor of the rave scene. And this is why I felt like this was a much of a family that I knew and felt comfortable with and have felt very comfortable with within this scene for the last since then, you know, since 2000, and really, really grown to love it. So it really pains me, and it's really like a dagger in the heart, a bullet in the heart, when the music and the culture and the true love and freedom of expression, all of this side of what we love about music and having a good time, has been completely manipulated, extorted, exploited, and used to manipulate the minds of masses. And the MK mind control of how movies and music and media, these three M's, are the ones that control how people think, whether they realize it or not. Because it's what you consume is is what you consume is really, really important. And so when you're consuming really kind of huge amounts of excessive um drink and drugs and getting ridiculous amounts of money, and everybody's like kissing your ass like you're just like literally the diamond child that has just come into the world, and you you are you are the next Justin Bieber or whatever, you know. And I'm not taking anything away from Justin Bieber. He's a great talent. But there's loads out there, loads of people. Everybody has genius. But it's just who often they, a lot of looking for what I often call the star children, like the stars coming out of their eyes. There are bright young things, bright young talents. And the stage is where I always wanted to be. And I was a amateur actress when I was younger, and I absolutely loved it. And I didn't think I was good enough to be able to make it the big time, as they say. But my love of jumping on the table, singing and dancing and having fun, I kind of did in Clubland. And I was well known for being at the front, getting on the podium and giving it the large one and giving it my all and having a great time and dancing my actual little socks off. I used to wear little socks. And I absolutely loved it. And I still do, and I'm still love to do that. But I know that how dangerous GHB a drug is, and how dangerous these drugs like ketamine and GHB and alcohol in this cocktail when they're really like put together. How fucked up they make people, and how addiction is the name of the industry game. Get those kids fucked up, get them doing all kinds of stuff, but then not care about them, that their mental health and physical health is fucked because they are just used as either a party boy DJ or a Amy Winehouse or a Pete Doherty, or you know, excuse me, really like um build them up and then like shoot them on the way down and laugh at them and sell stories about them in rehab. And then when you have music and so much money in that music, then and the record company owns so much of that artist, then they still keep on making plenty of money when they're dead. In fact, they make even more money, as case proven with all of the artists that have gone before their time and shoot straight to number one. And you know, we have to understand that the lessons in the lost souls in the lost list are still lessons to be learned. So Sinead O'Connor's lessons, Whitney Houston, her daughter, Bobby Brown's daughter, who Whitney was married to, the abuse and what happens when this kind of abuse happens, and what happens as you get older, and what the detrimental and devastating effects are. So whether people are bumped off because they know too much, or whether they are overdosing on too much drugs, or whether they are being overdosed and they are being murdered, um, all kinds of things are possible, and they are not with out of the realms of possibility, because follow the money tree. And people all like this always do these things for money. Now, I am only really feeling brave enough now to talk out because of people like Jaguar, and because of people like I'm connected with on my Twitter, and the Truth Tribe and the Whistleblowers Tribe. It is Whistleblowers Wednesday today when I'm recording this. And Whistleblowers United is a project that I'm still at very, very early stages with, but was born from the fact of how dangerous it is to whistleblow, and what happens when you whistleblow on people like P. Diddy, on these kind of really, really influential people that are looked up to and loved by millions, actually, especially when they are loved by many people. Um, And when they're incredibly, incredibly manipulative, it is a dangerous game because the first line of call is always they're after promo, they're after money, they're trying to extort them for money. Then it's crazy making oil, they're just mad, they're just crazy. They're the same patterns of discrediting that happens. And this has happened to me, and I couldn't believe how much it had happened to me. Um, but I think people got very worried and scared in my industry that I was going to start causing problems for people. And it's, I'm not causing problems for anybody. If people have got guilt and shame and have been doing some real bad stuff in dark studios and bunkers and places like this, and making money out of a network of um, drugs and trafficking, then they they should be worried every minute of the day. And it's nothing to do with me. But more and more people are waking up to this now. And that's why we have to talk about it. I feel that the more I've been silenced, and I was literally like, well, the next thing that they use is you'll never work again. We won't work with you. We will evict you from the industry. And that is the big one for most people. And why the big reason why most people within the know or in the industry or have an awful lot more clue that could do an awful lot more. That is normally the reason why they don't speak out because it is going to affect their income because these puppet masters, gatekeepers, have the key to so much money and so much power that they really do pull everybody's strings. And so if you try and speak out about anything, and I didn't really speak out at all, I just became an ambassador for Me to the Music. I said something about Mark Knight remixing Eric Murillo's Believe, I think it was. Believe, yeah, exactly. Um, a year after he died, having the whole DJ industry knowing what Eric Murillo was like. And we have a few of these characters that are in plain sight. There are others that are being much more manipulative and deceptive, and most people don't realize, but they are still doing the devil's work, as it were. So Mark Knight got upset with me. Toolroom got upset with me, just for saying I don't think you should really be glorifying about remixing Murillo's Believe a year after he died, considering everything that went on with Christina and Roger Sanchez's wife and the alleged rape. And there are many, 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 many pictures of Murillo with Diddy. And that's only because, his PR team aren't getting rid of them anymore. There are lots of other pictures with a lots of, and just because you're standing next to Diddy having a selfie with him, it doesn't mean you're taking part in satanic ritual abuse or anything like that. Of course, it doesn't. But there are very close characters and people that have been closely associating and making money from this network. And the others that are getting off it, and the others that are just simply blackmailed into having to do it. And many of the staff will have been employed because they know that they are the kind of staff that they can keep quiet. And and that's the way it goes, unfortunately. And we just need to call it and see it and make sure that we're not hoodwinked by DJs that number one, well, I don't mean just obviously I'm saying DJs because the DJ industry is what I work in. And I know there's so many creative creatures, wonderful music, and people that are really, really put off by the whole music scene and everything about it because of the black, horrible, tarnished mark of these people that have been really extorting everybody. They extort anybody they can, however much money they can get out. They know that so many lads want to be a DJ. And so this is their market that they are hungry to extort from you. And the lucky ones that in their eyes, they will take under their wing and groom you until your death's door. And and I'm not, it's not a laughing matter, it isn't because it's all, getting wasted has all gone very wrong. And I don't want talent to be wasted. And I don't want people to be unwell mentally. And this is what I've seen with many, 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 many people. And I've also seen many people lose their lives. And all of these are lost souls. And they're all sitting there going, how long will you let them kill our prophets and stand aside? We have the power to make medicinal, magical music that is truly a gorgeous love, frequency, and vibe. And we have the power to go no more majors because the majors are manipulating, they are the moguls, they are a monopoly. And unfortunately, there are just a couple of tycoons and a couple of families that are sitting at the top. And we don't need them anymore. And Pink Floyd knew this, and we don't. We now we can be independent artists. We can be independent across the board, and we do not have to play the game of these fat boys fiddle and diddles because it is demonic. It is doing the devil's work. We can still have a good time. We can still enjoy ourselves. We can still have a party, but we don't. Partying every night is no good for nobody. And and drugs and alcohol every day is no good for everybody. I run a radio station called Iron Stream Radio. If you would like to come and get involved, if you are one of the great awakening people out there and you know what I'm talking about and that you would like to do anything to get involved in my music channel side of things, then get in touch with me. I can't play music on YouTube as it strikes me down. But if you would like to come and enjoy some music and have some bands with me, then I am on iStream Radio and you can connect with me on there and on Rumble. I can play whatever I like and it's audio only on the website and I'm in control. And so nobody is censoring and it's a lot of fun and it's kept me sane because listening to the right music and keeping yourself in the right frequency and the right vibe and cutting out these dark forces and these violent, misogynistic, oppressive, nasty stuff, and we cut it all out. Music is our greatest healer and it's a great power and it is all about love. So don't let the love get tainted, don't let it get twisted, and don't let it get manipulated. Um, make your choices and make them well and call it out because the public has the power. I can sit here and talk all day, which I'm pretty good at. But the people have the power in how they pay lip service or into people that are doing nothing good with, you know, some of these old DJs that are just rinsing it and doing nothing good and playing the agenda of the game of the government. These aren't rave DJs, these aren't inspirational, and they are holding the music evolution back actually, by just hanging on for dear life and just like I still want somebody to care about me. You know, I'm not saying don't play anymore, but you've got to grow old gracefully and these old guards aren't graceful. I'm so glad Diddy's been called out. I want to give my actual heart and soul and hats off and strength over to Jaguar, right? For calling it and for everybody else that has been strong enough to go forward. And anybody that wants to come forward about any allegations about anything in the music industry, feel free to contact me. All my contact details are here, so that's me once again. Thank you for listening. Love you all. Bye. Over and out.